Over half of Tasmanians with a mortgage are in crisis. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee, because we're going to have a look at an article from Mortgage Business, which is discussing, well, a choice survey. And it's telling us here, quite confrontingly, over half of Tasmanians with a mortgage are in crisis. More than 55%. Now, before we jump into that article, I want to look at the definition of what mortgage stress is to start with. And this is from savings.com.au. What is mortgage stress? Mortgage stress is commonly defined as when a household is spending more than 30% of their gross pre-tax income on their mortgage repayments. So, if you're spending more than 30% of your pre-tax income, remember, you've got to pay the government before you can put a house over your head or even feed your family. Isn't Australia awesome? Then you're considered in mortgage stress. However, this can be seen as an overly simplistic definition. According to the ABS, the 30% rule mostly applies to households whose equalised disposable household incomes falls into the bottom 40% of Australia's income distribution, referred to as the 30-40 rule of housing affordability. So, this makes a lot more sense. The poorer you are, the greater probably the less disposable income you have. Remember, this is in your gross, this is in your pre-tax. So it's going to eat up a lot more. And the wealthier you are, you've got more means to mitigate your tax. Remember, just buy some negative gearing properties, reduce your tax, get that capital growth, then you got a rental income. It's the Australian way, guys. If a low-income household is spending more than 30% of their income on their mortgage repayments or rent, it means they are in housing stress. But the Australian Housing and Urban Research Alliance says the 30% rule isn't always a reliable measure of housing stress for low-income households. By repaying their mortgages, households are both paying for housing and also actually saving their money in a tax-effective wealth asset that they may draw upon in the future, they say on their website. Well, there you go. I mean, how many people see paying a mortgage as investing in your house? In you're providing a home, you're getting that capital growth. Even if the property goes down, it's still better than rent, guys, because you could lose all the value. Sure, there are costs associated with it and all those other things and maintenance and rates and that. But if you want a nice, stable, boring, vanilla suburban life, which frankly is pretty good, I can appreciate how people can see that as a way of saving, and at least for later in life. That's what people have, that's the Australian issue here. So maybe we have to be a little skeptical if Choice is saying 55% of Tasmanians are under mortgage stress. Because also, if you're wealthier, that 30% is going to be something you can manage if you've got more money coming in. So let's have a look at this Choice survey, because I know we have a few Tasmanians watching the channel. Let me know what it's like down there. I mean, would 30% stress you out on your mortgage? Or if you've been saving, a millennial generation, if you had to save a 50% deposit or an insane amount of deposit, or a deposit equal to what the previous generation would have spent buying a house, is 30% that stressful, or is it an upgrade? You've got more disposable income. So let's jump over and have a look at this. So, over half of Tasmanians, is that working? Nope, it's not. Oh, wait, there we go. So, over half of Tasmanians with a mortgage are in crisis. More than half, 55% of Tasmanian households with a mortgage are in financial distress, according to new data from consumer advocate group Choice. The research from Choice has named Tasmania as the hardest hit state by mortgage stress, with 55.79% of households in financial distress. Now, I used to work for an architectural practice that was headquartered in Tassie. They had their headquarters in Launceston. One of the directors moved to Queensland. I think he liked the weather, which is understandable. And I worked for a gentleman that ended up buying that Queensland office. And I remember talking to the Tasmanian draftees. I was so jealous what they could get a house for in Launceston. It was insane. Sadly, it looks like they've caught up with the rest of the country. And, Launceston has topped the list of state regions for households in crisis, with 4,735 in stress. And Lonnie is also famous because of the cloud token wallet crypto scam. That's where their international headquarters is, in Launceston, of all places for a Malaysian business. Sounds legit, hey? Don't get me wrong, Lonnie's great. It's a beautiful city. Hobart suburbs, Bellarive, Howrah, and surrounding, under the postcode 7018, I need another shot of coffee, followed, with 3,123 households in mortgage stress, with Austin's Ferry and surrounding coming in third, with a total of 1,898. And remember, this is based on the definition from the ABS, which savings.com.au are critical. No, savings.com brought our attention to, others are critical of it. Choice banking policy lead Patrick Viret commented that financial counselors have reported that many people are often foregoing spending on essentials such as utility and food before they default on their mortgage. Well, yes. Utilities, power is expensive. You can put it off for a while, but I guess you wouldn't. Food, you can really cut your food budget down. There's a lot of money that can be saved, even if you start cooking at home. Tasmania was once one of the most affordable places in the country to live, and now communities like Launceston are living on the brink, he said. While the early signs of Australia's economic recovery are promising, many families are faced with underemployment, stagnant wage growth, and government support being wound back. Choice has also released data on South Australia and Queensland revealing their top 10 suburbs in mortgage stress. Paralowie and surrounding suburbs in North Adelaide topped its state for postcodes with most houses in mortgage stress, with a total of more than 5,700. Goldie Grove and Greenwith in the northeast of Adelaide followed with 3,350 households. In Queensland, the regional city of Toowoomba had the highest total for the state at 9,693. Now, remember, this is just based on the 30%. This isn't 9,000 houses that are... Maybe they're living there completely fine. Maybe they're not even noticing it. Maybe they've just got they're living frugally and making ends meet. In Queensland, the regional city of Toowoomba had the highest total, ranked 4th in the nation of list of postcodes for the most households in mortgage stress. Aspley, well, is this an argument of mortgage stress, or is it just saying that wages aren't keeping up with Toowoomba? I mean, Toowoomba's a beautiful city. It's not that far from Brisbane. You wouldn't want to make the commute. I've driven out there for a few projects and work. It's a bit exhausting, the drive, but it isn't that far. You could probably do it if you really had to. It'd be nice having a nice little place out in the country out there. And Toowoomba's a real city, guys. Everything you could want in Brisbane, you could pretty much get there. Aspley, Boondall, and other surrounding suburbs in northern Brisbane followed with 5,893 households, while Ipswich ranked 3rd at 5,829. He noted that rural and regional areas in Queensland had been the hardest hit, with the top 10 postcodes including Toowoomba, Ipswich, Mackay and Cairns. The impacts of international and state travel restrictions in tourism-focused towns such as Cairns and Mackay have placed a serious strain on household finances, he said. Choice has launched the research as it is pushing against the government's planned repeals to the responsible lending obligations under the National Consumer Credit Protections Act 2009. The bill, which Treasurer Josh Frydenberg has stayed firm on, has seen growing opposition from crossbenchers, and most recently being Tasmanian Senator Jackie Lambie. Here's the thing, guys. I mean, shouldn't we expect people to have agency when entering into these agreements and borrowing money? The banks are not entirely stupid, guys. They're not going to go as crazy as you think. We don't have the same system in America. Just look how hard it is to get a loan if you're a small business person. So, I don't know. I don't know about this, to be honest. I don't think we're going to see an avalanche of crazy people borrowing insane amounts. I mean, we already are seeing borrowing insane amounts. One Nation leader, Pauline Hanson, Independent Senator Rex Patrick, have also indicated they do not support the bill when it is voted on in the Senate in mid-June. He noted that the Royal Commission recommended the laws be enforced, not dismantled, arguing lenders routinely broke safe lending laws and trapped people into unaffordable loans. Okay. They're not trapping you into unaffordable loans. guys. You've got to... Are we in a country now where people don't even have to take responsibility? Is that it? Are we at such a nanny state, bloody Australian, wet behind the ears expectation of our populace that you're blaming the banks if someone makes a stupid decision? Come on. Really? Is that where we've gotten here? Oh boy, I'd rather, if you want to address housing affordability, and we'll look at some other issues later, just look at reduced government intervention. Axing safe lending will be disastrous for the Tasmanian community and economy. Oh, come on. People across the state are doing it tough. They don't need to be burdened with more reckless bank lending. Then don't borrow! Don't borrow! If you're doing it tough, don't borrow the money! Come on! Choices among more than 39,000 people. Yeah, but how many of those are carbon copy letters? And 125 organisations that have signed an open letter calling on the government to retain the responsible lending obligations in their current state. What do you reckon, everyone? Are we getting such a nanny state here that everyone's blamed for it? And you think these people are really under, mortgage stress? Paying 30% of it. It's an investment. It's an investment for the long term. What's the solutions to this? Well, it's going to be one I've brought up many times. We need to increase the financial literacy of our population. We don't need to have rules and regulations put in place and taking agency or the expectation of agency and adult behavior away from people. Come on. What's going on here? I'm sounding like bloody Biden now. Come on, man. If once you have financial literacy, you will be smarter to not engage into debt. And then, well, there's individuality. I'd want a greater understanding of Austrian economics, at least the theories to get out there. But, putting my conspiratorial tinfoil hat on there, is there really an incentive for our political class to have a more engaged, educated, and free-thinking population? Nice, big, chunky mortgages keep people pretty compliant. What do you think? Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one in the comments down below. Are you in Tasmania? Are you seeing this mortgage stress? Or do you think it's just a bit of hyperbole? As always, if you want to support the channel, there's several ways you can. Simply watching and interacting is a great way to help the channel grow. You can subscribe to us on YouTube or Patreon. Join us on or support us by signing up for SelfWealth or Stake. Use our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or even good old AussieBroadband. Buy merch from HeiseSays. Use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, everyone. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.